Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Giant Take podcast. Another losing episode. The Giants are 2-11 after a 14-11 loss against the New Orleans Saints in a poor football game yesterday. And just to start out everything, not to make it about me or about us or anything, but if you can't already tell, I have a cold, so I feel like crap. And went to bed late, and it's finals week, so it's been super busy and stressful for that. But the craziest part out of all of that, though, is Alex, after even those two things that I mentioned, three things, whatever it might be, watching that Giants game yesterday still was the worst out of all three of those things. I can be sick, that's fine. I'm talking weird, and I can't blow through my nose right now. Can't breathe. It's all right though, because I had to sit back and watch a Giants game yesterday that was navigated by a quarterback in Drew Lock, who at one point in the game, I believe, was passing or had like 12 incomplete passes in a row. At one point was like 6 for 18. And the debate at halftime was, is Tommy DeVito going to come into this game? That was the debate at halftime. Tommy DeVito plays about one snap in this game, doesn't do anything. So they ride Drew Lock out for the entire game. We have a plane flying with a message before the game, which we have not really ever seen before, talking about getting John Mara out, or not John Mara out, but it said, Mr. Mara, enough. Please fix the dumpster fire. And that was flying around MetLife Stadium pregame. Malik Neighbors was asked about the plane after. Brian Daboll was asked about the plane after. Brian Daboll said, I had no knowledge of this. Malik Neighbors was a little bit of a different response, saying, I didn't buy that plane. Maybe something that the person who would buy that plane would say. I don't know. But I'm sure it was not Malik Neighbors. But long intro, Alex, before going to you, but I'll go to you now. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm a couple $100,000 down after buying the plane, but besides that, I'm doing pretty well. The Giants at this point, I feel like I'm just genuinely like so scarred that I don't think any level of terrible play is going to impact my personal feelings at this point anymore. I can't live my life thinking about the Giants because nothing would get done, just like the Giants get nothing done on the football field. So from that standpoint, I'm not doing so bad. But from when I get into my Giants bubble and I start thinking about things, I get extremely angry. I mean, this game was a dumpster fire, is the best way to put it, as the plane put it. And it just is not enjoyable football to watch. The Saints are a terrible team. We are somehow even worse. And this offense could not move. The defense had its bright spots, obviously, but it's not a cohesive unit, right? The three sides of the ball, they cannot work together to get wins. You can say it's primarily on the offense. You can say that's the main issue of why they're not winning games, but there's critical mistakes on all three sides of the ball, and it just does not look like a well-coached team. It doesn't look like a team that really cares enough and feels the pain that is in the fans' heads right now and in their hearts. And I think that's the main issue right now. And obviously, more and more players are making business decisions. Players are getting shut down for the season. This is what happens when you have two wins. Brian Dable said it too in his press conference. He said, "Hey, I'm not happy either. We have two wins." So no one's going to be happy in that building. And it just feels like a very, very depressed environment, both on and off the football field right now.
Absolutely, Alex. And, we don't really have to do the offense defense thing again here, because this team, yet I think you can say they did fight a little bit at the end of this game. But, I mean, to only put up 11 points is just kind of, I guess, expected. Going into the game, Malik Neighbors was questionable with yet just another injury that I feel like they keep on piling up for him this season. He did play through it. He led the team with 5 catches for 79 yards. On that final drive, he had a pretty remarkable play where he was spinning in and out of tackles at least a couple times. setting the team up. He didn't go out of bounds on that play, so kind of didn't help the team. But again, he made a really nice 20 to 30 yard reception there. So that was really good of him to do so. A good job. And then Drew Lock is on a quarterback that's going to help this team win. And at the end of the day, that's kind of the deal. And we really, really, really saw that against the Saints, a team that's not the best defensively. They're not the worst, but he was struggling. I don't know if Tommy DeVito would have done any better. But again, that just really is the place that this team is right now, that we have a quarterback who literally it took him 10 plus throws to finally get his first completion of the game. Well into the contest. It's pretty depressing to watch. What's even more depressing is that for the running game yesterday, Drew Lock led the running game with 5 rushes out of the pocket for 59 yards. Behind him, Tyrone Tracy didn't see much success. Yes, he did have a touchdown, but 16 carries for 45 yards, about 3 yards a carry is not great. I do like that they were giving him the reps, though. The more reps, the better for Tyrone Tracy. That's really one of the bright spots, one of the very rare bright spots that's on this team, and youngsters that we want to see improve in his rookie year. So give him the reps to do that. Daniel Bellinger, 5 catches, 45 yards. This offense was abysmal. I have nothing more to say. Defensively, and then obviously Drew Lock throwing an interception. I mean, this goes to his poor performance. He was terrible in this game. Defensively, not bad. Not bad. Again, it's kind of what we've seen like all season. The offense can't capitalize. The defense makes stops. They only allowed the Saints to score 14 points. Oh my gosh, my cold is getting to me right now. But the tackles for loss were truly, truly there. In total, this team had 13 tackles for loss, which is pretty unbelievable. Micah McFadden notching 5 of those. Kayvon getting 2 as well. Dexter Lawrence was still playing for this team this season. He would have had an absolute field day yesterday. Yesterday, I truly believe would have been his game of the season. Unfortunately, he did not play. He wasn't active. He's gone and out for the rest of the season. And then a couple sacks in there as well. I mean, this Giants team, they really showed pressure. They really showed fight on the defensive end. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, everyone watching. She's in a tissue. But, yeah, this maybe, you know what? Maybe it's the Giants that are getting me sick, Alex, because I'm just sick and tired of losing. I guess that's really what it is. But, I mean, to wrap up my rant in short, offense, very, very poor. It's really just the definition of the season. The defense really showed fight. I did definitely enjoy that. And they set us up for a chance to tie the game and to head into overtime. And we haven't talked about that moment yet, Alex. And I don't know. Everything's not working here. I don't know if you want to go to that now or what you want to do, but
yeah, I mean, I was just going to touch real quick on one other aspect of the defense before we get to that, actually. The rushing game. Obviously, the Giants have not been able to stop the run all season. They've given up, 150-yard plus game to Chuba Hubbard and other backs who I don't think the public would necessarily consider as elite guys in this league. But today they were playing up or going up against a very solid back right now, I'd say. Probably no longer a star like he used to be, a little bit past his prime in Alvin Kamara, but still a very, very effective runner. And the Saints have been an effective run team this whole season. But the Giants, in probably the first time in quite a few weeks, for what I can remember, held the Saints to under 100 yards rushing, 92 yards. So very overall, decent game in terms of run defense. And the interior guys, even without Dexter Lawrence and Bobby Okereke, were able to be very, very effective in that department. Saints offensive line also very beaten up, which is something to take into account. But good performance there, keeping Alvin Kamara to also under 3 yards a carry. So I did want to note that before we got into that, Josh.
All right, so let's get into I guess we could have started the top of the show with this, but we get to it eventually. And it's the reason that the Giants lost this game. So after driving down the field, and I kind of hinted at it earlier with the Malik Neighbors play, 23 yards. And so the Giants are lining up for a 35-yard field goal. Graham Gano, basically a chip shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically a chip shot field goal to tie this game up and head into overtime. And again, if there's another way that really sums up the New York Giants season, it's a block field goal. And that's exactly what happens. Shout out Brian Breesy for getting that block. Saints win a game. They have 5 wins on the year. And I mean, no better way to tank.
Yeah.
I have
Saints
nothing.
fans, I don't think are happy about winning this one either, to be honest. They, of course, are probably going to be in the quarterback market in the draft or free agency. So I'm not sure they were looking for a win either, but we out-tanked them. So I guess that's a positive sign. But, Raiders, I believe, right now still own the number 1 pick based off of strength of schedule. Giants right behind them at the number 2 pick. There has been more and more chatter now, Josh. I don't know if you've been seeing this since I really don't want to talk about the Giants game anymore. Shedeur Sanders has been making some very cryptic posts and sorts of about wanting to go to the Raiders potentially. So if they keep that number 1 spot, it is very, very likely, I think, that they go with Shedeur Sanders at that number 1 overall. And then the Giants definitely have an interesting decision at 2. So I think, we're on a good track as of right now to hopefully get a top 3 pick, and hopefully the Giants don't start deciding to beat the Ravens next week or some silliness that would be the most Giants thing ever to happen. And yeah, at this point, it's just riding it out. I've never really been in favor of tanking, but here we are. I'm a changed man now. I've been depleted by, what is this now? How many weeks of Giants football? Too many weeks is the real answer, but I believe it's
the team is
weeks.
2-11.
Yeah, so 13 real weeks, 1 bye week. Too many weeks of pain, and I think I've succumbed to the tank now.
And still more to go, Alex. If you could believe it or not, the Giants will play 4 more games this season. One of them, as
4
you
too
said,
many, Josh. It's 4 too many.
Absolutely. And the one next weekend is against the Ravens, and as you said, maybe they pull some magical things. I don't know about that. The spread right now,
14-point underdogs. It's
15,
crazy. 15 now. Holy.
Yep, it's gone up 1, and that I was about to say that. Baltimore right now is minus 15. I would definitely take that if I were you. This game is going to be a cakewalk for Baltimore, and I'm sure I will not rule out that we will see more players as the weeks go on, Alex, rule themselves out of these games. I think Malik Neighbors will be next on the block if he's still, recovering from this injury. Season over for him. Maybe a few players here and there.
Josh, I genuinely think Derrick Henry could run for probably 300 yards on us next week. He's the game script is going to be excellent for them. They're kind of really getting on a roll now. They're obviously one of the top teams in the league, and the Giants, I think this run defense was a bit of a not a lie, but I think it looked a lot better than it actually was. And some of the Saints runners and offense really wasn't producing like that elite Baltimore offense. So I think it's going to be really, really tough for this defense. And then, of course, this offense, this highly depleted offense, to keep up with them.
Yeah. And I'm really sorry. I mean, this was, not only because of the sickness, but just in general, this is probably one of my more mellow, episodes I've ever done. There's just no energy to put into this team right now. It's truly remarkable, how bad this team is. So, with that being said, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, or Jalen Milroe season, here we come. Shedeur, please go to the Raiders. That would very much make me happy. And that's all I got. That's all I got. Go Syracuse football. I actually was talking about this yesterday to my father, and I was like, I think put Syracuse football against the Giants right now. I think Syracuse would win. They just took down the number 6 team in the nation in Miami a week ago or so. I think they could take down the New York Giants right now with how they're playing on the field. So I'll put that statement out there. Probably not true, but I'd actually like to see it happen. I think it'd be a lot closer than people would think with how this Giants team is playing. All right. With that being said, that's all I got. Giants play the Ravens next Sunday. We'll have a preview for you later in the week. If any news comes out that is crazy, we'll hop on before. Not like it'll be Brian Dable getting fired or anything, but if it were to be that, we'll be here for it. Thank you so much for listening and or watching again. Our social media is the Giant Take Pod on anywhere. Alex is on X at Anorian23. I'm on X at Joshua29. And that's it for me.
Yeah, thank you everyone for listening to today's episode. Hope everyone had a great weekend despite the Giants not having a great weekend, and enjoy your week, and I guess enjoy getting to wait for more Giants football. 4 more weeks. We'll get through it together. See you then. Peace.